Well, hello everybody. In this episode, it's a bit of a round in circles trip. We've gone from Hinchinbrook when we were notified that I had an appointment I couldn't get out of back at Early Beach. So what we decided to do was to go back down to Townsville, and we stayed at Magnetic Island Marina, and then when I got back from Early Beach, we went over to Townsville, refuel the boat, and then headed back to where we started from, which was Hinchinbrook, and then up as far as Dunk Island. So anyway, we're going around in circles a little bit on this one, but we'll try to keep you sort of informed as to what we're doing and when we're doing it, and hope you enjoy it. All right, back soon. Well, where we left the last episode off, we'd just dropped Tiny Turtle into the water, and we'd gone for a little bit of an explore around the creeks where we were staying at Halcock Island in the Hinchinbrook Passage. We went up one little creek and we saw a big crocodile, and he was a big one. He was 4.5 metres, every bit of 4.5 metres, and sitting on the bank sunning himself to try and warm up because the water temperature's dropped down below 20 degrees here at the moment. Anyway, when he saw us, he slid down the bank and started swimming straight down the creek towards us. So we thought, well, let's err on the side of caution and we might go back to the boat, which we did. So we pulled our little crocodile marshmallow of a tinny out and put him back up on deck, and sat down. Wouldn't have been about an hour later, the tide was going out and we were looking down the bank, and we saw something that looked like a croc sitting on the bank about 300 metres from the boat. So I put the drone up in the air, and these are the results of it. Was it the 14th of May, I think it is. Beautiful day here in Hinchinbrook again. Interesting morning this morning. We've got very big tides. It was about a 3.6 metre dropping down to a 1 metre, I think it is. And the anchor alarm went off this morning. I thought that's a bit weird. We weren't dragging anchor, but I'd set a 40 metre circle that we should have stayed in all night. And what happened, the tide was moving that quick, our stabilisers were acting as parachutes and dragged us back, which straightened out all the chain, and we just went outside of our safe anchoring circle on the anchor watch app. Anyway, here's the first of the boys coming fishing for the day. Anyway, it's Mother's Day. I've got to get back to Kylie. She's having Vegemite toast and a cup of tea in bed this morning. Sunday night roast dinner. Mother's Day, and I'm not allowed to cook. Kylie's cooking, and she's cooked. What do you call that? Pork backstrap?
Pork belly.
Pork belly. Silly Johnny. And we've got veggies over here. And up here, I'll turn the light on. So we've got roast vegetables up there. Kylie spice straw. But yummo. Smells like you wouldn't believe. You would not believe what comes out of this little galley. Here we go. It's not sharp enough. We're going for the new knife. No, they're not. We're going for the chainsaw. I really feel like grabbing one of those, but I won't.
You won't.
Kylie has the knife.
I do.
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
actually going to peel that
Yeah, that's a good idea.
crackling off.
Then we can eat that first. Oh,
I'll come to that one later. Cook's privilege.
Yeah, she crackled. I don't know about this cook's privilege thing.
Right. That's because you don't cook.
Well, I'm not allowed.
We're working for that.
We've had a brilliant day today. You should have seen the breakfast. It was Vegemite on toast.
Oh.
Kylie got Vegemite and toast. And then for lunch we went all out and had 2-minute noodles.
With a can of tuna.
And some extra chilli paste,
Yeah.
which was pretty yum.
I managed to absolutely butcher that pork. But anyway.
It'll look good on a plate, bub.
It will. Oh, no. See?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You're on camera. Anyway, we watched the footy. All's good. But here still, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, at Hinchinbrook Passage. And the sun's setting out in the distance. Got one other boat up there keeping us company tonight. Big tides, we're in the spring tides. It was 3.2 I think today, and it's come right in to shore. And yeah, great night. Anyway, enjoying life. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. We've just arrived at Guyanda Creek, which is sort of most of the way to Cardwell, and we had this other guy follow us in the catamaran down here. What a backdrop. I must admit it is pretty spectacular country. We've got another boat up here. Unfortunately, with the southeaster blowing at 25 to 30 knots over the next few days, I think we're going to end up here for a couple of days. And I'll give you a bit of a description on what might be happening next as we head back to the island. I don't think this film really does it justice, but this is truly an amazing spot. It's a freak of nature, this planet, without a doubt. Dolphins are swimming just up there, around that area there.
Yogurt making 101. Thermomixers, Thermogroovers Greek yogurt. 2 litres of long life milk. 220 grams of full cream milk powder. Roughly. And I say roughly because we're on the water and we're rolling, and trying to get an accurate measurement is almost impossible. Okay, mix for 20 seconds on, I'm reading the recipe here, as you can tell. 20 seconds. And now the Thermomix doesn't want to play the game. Come on, you beast. Thank you. No. seriously. 20 seconds. Speed 6, 20 seconds. It doesn't work really well on the water. Or speed 5. Okay, 7 minutes. I will not film the entire 7 minutes. 7 minutes, 60 degrees, speed 3. And off she goes. So I will come back to you in 7 minutes. Okay, we've reached our temperature. Now I'm adding in, it's supposed to be 200 ml of cream, but I'll put in 250 because I can't measure and I can't be bothered, so it works. So cream goes in. Lid goes on and we mix for, you'd figure I'd know how to work this, wouldn't you? 30 seconds, speed 3. And off she goes. That's done. So now what I have to do is wait for it to drop to 45 degrees, add in the yogurt, mix it through, and then set it to auto ferment, and it ferments for 8 hours, and at the end of the 8 hours you've got a specky yogurt. But we shall come back when the temperature's at 45 and I'll show you the next couple of steps. Bye. 8 hours later. It's a bit of a test one, this one, because I've not done it using my own, and then the recipe fucked up halfway through.
And the generator.
And the generator turned off. So I think we're coming out with a lot thinner yogurt, which we definitely are, than I would normally have. It's usually really quite thick, but as you can see, this one's quite a bit thinner, but it will thicken up in the fridge, so it should be okay. It's just not going to be quite as thick as the last one. I need to make sure that either the Jenny or the power stay on, as opposed to losing it halfway through, which is what happened there. We shall see. It's still going to be good. It'll still be better than shop bought, but it probably won't be as good as the last two.
Early morning for us. It's after 7 o'clock and we're out of bed, which is a bit of a surprise. Anyway, today's the 15th of May, Monday morning. High tide, very high tide. We're going to start heading back to Magnetic Island today. We'll get at least the Yanks Jetty, we think. The weather seems to be improving a day ahead of itself, which is good. And we may even go see if we can get into the marina at Magnetic Island a day early. Anyway, we'll see what the day brings, no doubt. 60% chance of rain, they're indicating. 15 knots of breeze. 15 to 25 if you look at the forecast, but if you start looking around the websites at all the actuals, we're down around the 10 knot mark, so we're going to give it a bit of a run and see how we go. Anyway, coffees are on the way.
Coffees are on. Here's your coffee.
G'day.
Morning, children.
And let's get moving. Well, some dinner bread rolls would be nice if we're having. They're all good.
I just like bread rolls. Because we can still toast those if you want toast.
Yeah. There's going to be no leftover toast.
There's 3 each. Let's cut the tails off.
Show everyone what you're pouring out for dinner.
We are having Lambert's lamb chops for dinner. And they're going to be really delicious. And that was just my voice and nothing else.
Just heard the oven open. What have we got in here, Kylie?
We have a loaf of beautifully homemade baked bread.
Wow, have a look at that one. That'll be the best one yet.
Oh my god, it smells so good.
Yeah,
It's the best one yet because it's a whole batch. Normally it's a half batch of buns and a half batch of bread. But
Yummo.
that's fabulous.
Well done, bub.
You're welcome, darling.
Full of birds. Be a million seagulls here. Have a look at all the seagulls on the fence. Fishing is bad here. More of them on the pylons. Yeah, we should have. Yeah.
Instead of going, oh my god, we're actually making our back.
Oh, we can still do it. Halfway between Orpheus Island, which is up and over there, and Lucinda, which is back over that way. And I've got in front of us a barge and a trawler. I've got the radar on, and over hidden against that island over there, there's another trawler. I've got the radar on. The things you don't see is this one here. Queensland, I don't know, QGV, something, Queensland Vessel Island Ranger, so it's got an AIS on it. The trawlers don't put their AISs on, so you wouldn't have a clue where they are, but I'm picking him up on the radar there, and there's the other trawler over there. So I've got those two trawlers. The barge is ahead of us. Oh yeah, there it is, just showing up behind the trawler. So there's the trawler, and every now and then there's another flicker here which will be the barge. There's the other trawler. This is the guy that was anchored behind us last night. So although keeping an eye out is a great idea, I can't see this guy here at all, but I know he's there. So the instruments certainly give you the advantage. You know, all I've got to do is avoid all those. That's happy days. Good morning everyone. It's what date is it? It's the 20th of May, and we're headed down. We've done our little, or I've done a little trip back to Early Beach, and we left Magnetic Island early this morning, and now we're heading for Zoe Bay up on Hinchinbrook Island. That's our plan for today. But we're leaving. We've just refueled here in Townsville, and I must say, pleasantly surprised with the price of fuel at $1.89. So we've topped up the fuel tanks. Took about half a tank, and yeah, we're heading up to Zoe Bay. Full water tanks, full fuel tanks. Life's good. Smile, Kylie.
Hey.
Give you a bit of an update later in the day. So we've been going for about, what time is it now? About 2 o'clock, 1:45. So we're going for about 6 hours. Yeah, 5 or 6 hours. We're just passing Palm Island, which is over there, and we're heading up this way following that sailing boat. Getting a little bit peckish, and we just turned onto this new waypoint number 2226, and running with the swell now, so it's calmed the boat down a little bit. So we're going to heat up, being a winter's day, we're going to heat up some pea and ham soup for lunch. Yummo. So yeah, been quite a nice trip most of the way. A little bit rolly when we get out into that big swell. Swell was sort of about metre and a bit. Certainly wasn't under a metre, but we've been running with it most of the way, which has been nice. Yeah, don't know how far we'll get tonight, but I don't think it's going to be any good going to Zoe Bay, so we'll probably head up the back of Hinchinbrook again at a nice calm anchorage for the night. And I'll give you a bit of an update a little bit later on again.